Gen Z, Gen Z, what's up? It is not a podcast, man. Lock in. It's the episode 10. It is not a podcast, man. It is a show. It is a show where we bring you the most pertinent topics pertaining to Gen Z, whether that's within politics, business, or current issues. The idea is to be perceptive to what? Build perspective. Okay. We are hosted on a Perspective Media Network that is on YouTube, that is on Instagram. You can go check us out. And we have a slew of topics today. Listen, media power is consolidating. Media power is consolidating, and we're going to talk about that. ABC just brought back Jimmy Kimmel's show. Trump has sold TikTok or portions of ByteDance's TikTok to a couple of crazy players. And threats towards freedom of speech. I just started seeing some notifiers of that there might be Antifa stuff going on within threads, and like Antifa warnings going on within threads. So a conversation about censorship will be had. And then just a little bit of other topics like JD Vance politicizing ICE shooting, and just the growing intensity of rhetoric that's happening between the left and the right. And then $500 billion to HBCUs. I saw that headline coming through, and I definitely wanted to comment on it because what's the point of throwing $500 billion if you are devaluing college degrees and college kids are not even getting jobs, especially when you take DEI away. But we're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it. I first want to get into the media power is consolidating because, one, if you don't know my background, my college degree is in media, cultures, and communications. So I study this stuff. Like I study it to a T, not only just corporate media, but also like theories, ideology, stuff like that. How does it intersect? But, my pastime is pocket watching. So marrying, media, corporate watching plus pocket watching, I'm able to look at it from a business lens. And that's what we're going to go do. So I want to talk about media constricting and consolidating power, and who being at the helm of this, obviously Trump and the administration. Now, I first want to go through it with mergers and acquisitions. TikTok, which is the biggest social media platform right now, unless you're going to aggregate like all of Meta stuff, but the biggest social media platform right now, the biggest for engagement, the biggest for audience, and that pull is enormous. Like, not only is that scroll infinite, but you have so many creators and consumers on a platform at once, and everybody knows that algorithm is unbeatable. For a creator, that algorithm is unbeatable, but then as a consumer, you don't know how they got you to a T to be able to stay on that app, engage in a political, entertaining, and sometimes just downright like newsworthy type of pull. And that's why I want to talk about TikTok, because Trump has sold TikTok to these four individuals that's being reported allegedly: Lachlan Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch, Larry Ellison, who is the founder of Oracle, and then Michael Dell, who's the CEO of Dell. Lachlan Murdoch and Rupert Murdoch are actually media tycoons. They own, I'm going to get into what they own, but just those four names alone lets you know kind of where this consolidation of power is going. It is not only going to the billionaire class, but it is going to the elite. Larry Ellison is one of the richest men in the world, I think number one or number two. And you could just see where this is going, where the money is going, where the power is going, because this is TikTok. This is not some dying corporate entity like IBM. This is TikTok. The biggest consumer platform that we have right now. It is turning into its own TikTok shop and everything. It is the consumer app. So putting that in the hands of Larry Ellison, who also owns part of X, Twitter, who bought that with Elon, you could see not only these social media platforms now, not only are these corporate media conglomerates constricting, but so are these social media platforms are as well. Now, I'm going to go into depth on Rupert Murdoch and who he is, plus Lachlan, his son, and what they exactly own. And I'll do that now. So these are the companies that Murdoch media empire owns, right? News Corp then owns Wall Street Journal, New York Post, The Times, which is in London, The Sun, and the HarperCollins. If you haven't watched Succession, you should probably go watch Succession. Then they also own Fox Corporation, Fox Television, Fox Sports, Fox News, Fox Broadcasting Company. So they have their own ecosystem of media. And this is why I want to highlight this the most, is because Rupert Murdoch is in itself a media conglomerate. Some would think that he has a monopoly on media. And involving Rupert Murdoch just knows that you're just going to constrict a little bit more of media. Now, I want to talk about the lawsuit that Rupert Murdoch had to face from Trump. We're going to get to that. So that's the Murdochs. Larry Ellison is the founder and CEO of Oracle. Oracle is one of the biggest data center companies right now, or data aggregate companies right now. Oracle is shooting up on the stock, and Larry Ellison just, I think, added over $60 billion in a day a couple of weeks ago. So you can see who Larry Ellison is. Now, if you don't know his son, David Ellison, David Ellison owns Skydance. Skydance is a production media company. That production media company then went on to produce Top Gun Maverick, Mission Impossible, right? These are the type of movies, right? Now, 2 years ago when I was working at my Wall Street job, I reported on this merger that I was going to go through. Skydance was looking to buy Paramount. Paramount is a legacy media company. Don't let me lose you. These are like CBS, South Park, what else? It's huge. It's Paramount. It's a conglomerate, legacy media, right? So although they weren't making the most revenue, and I'm pretty sure the company was going downhill, this is the merger that really changed a lot for Skydance. Skydance bought Paramount for $8 billion, and I think Larry Ellison fronted $6 billion in order to get that deal done. Do not let that go over your head. I don't want to lose y'all. Larry Ellison fronted $6 billion in order to own another piece of another media company, Paramount. These are the things that your kids see for adults. These are the things that we see every day. And not only is it blending from television, cable television shows, this type of linear television, but now it's blending into social, because Larry Ellison also owns a piece of Twitter. And now with this deal, Trump has allowed Larry Ellison to also own a piece of TikTok. But not only that, he allowed Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox and all these other media companies, the New York Times, New York Post, the New York Post, New York Wall Street Journal. Not only him owning that, but now he owns piece of TikTok. Why not spread the wealth? Why not spread the ability of free press? I thought the idea when he was coming against all these legacy media companies like ABC, NBC, CNN, why not be able to spread this wealth? Why put it in the people that already have all of the media components and all the media infinity stones? And he gave them TikTok. So let me back it up a little bit. That is the first merger. Those are the first couple of mergers and acquisitions I wanted to go over, right? $16 million was paid out from Paramount to Trump in a lawsuit from a couple of years ago from CBS, right? Right after that lawsuit, the acquisition goes through. It's just a weird following of events that once the lawsuit comes through, lawsuit happens, now the deal's getting bought. Okay, David Ellison and Larry Ellison buys Paramount with Skydance. Okay, they own that. Now, a couple months comes, maybe 6-7 months later, TikTok comes down the floor. Who can buy it? Larry Ellison and David Ellison, the people that just bought Paramount. Okay, so Larry Ellison has a stake in Paramount, TikTok, and X. I don't think you understand how much content that is in front of your face that is owned by a singular family, let alone the Murdoch family. And that's what I mean by consolidation of power. Media is consolidating, and it's not just corporate media. Because guess what? Because guess what? When I look at Meta, and Meta just introduced or launched this banner or a warning, like we saw those COVID vaccine warnings, the misinformation stuff that you would see on on Instagram or you would see on X, right? All these misinformation type of warnings. Me and my friend, we were scrolling through threads and we saw a kind of like a hate speech warning that highlighted Antifa. I've never seen that before. Because mind you, I don't even think any warnings that I've seen has highlighted or called out a direct group. I've only seen this spreads misinformation or this is hateful language and we're going to take this down. If you believe it is hateful, then why put an Antifa warning on top of it? Mind you, this is Threads. This is owned by Meta, Mark Zuckerberg. It's just weird, right? So this is what I mean by media as a whole is starting to consolidate within power, because Trump, not only, you would think that they're like best buddies, right? But I feel like Trump got a lot of the social media tycoons. I'm talking about Google with YouTube. I'm talking about Meta with Mark. I'm talking about X and Elon. This was kind of done through bully ball, right? Like this was like same thing with Apple, 500 billion. You need to bend the knee, pay something, let me parade you around to all these different countries and stuff like that, showcase you around, put you around my table, have you say thank you so much for allowing me to be here. And they've bent the knee, and now you're seeing the ripple effects happen. Because when I see Meta and I open up Threads and I see those type of Antifa warnings over some basic things, nothing Antifa like, I start to get worried about that. That is the consolidation of power. And when I know you have the FCC, Federal Communications Committee, in your back pocket with that threat that we talked about last week, because the FCC did give a threat towards Jimmy Kimmel and other rhetoric that's alike. Anything criticizing, might be criticizing Trump. He did give that threat that they will be watching that closely. This is not fear-mongering for me. I am saying freedom of speech is at a threat level at this point. I thought it was just before the FCC commented, I thought that this was just private companies battling it out. Oh, you got interest, now we're going to flip the gun on you, right? The rabbit got the gun now. No. Because every single decision that I've been talked about, that TikTok acquisition from Lachlan Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch, Larry Ellison, Michael Dell, the acquisition between Paramount and Skydance, the lawsuit happened right before that. Meta now introducing these Antifa warnings. ABC taking down Jimmy Kimmel and having to reinstall him after, that Disney stock toppled down a little bit. All of these at the helm, everything. Trump is at the helm of every single decision that we're talking about right now. Every single decision. Those two mergers, that Skydance, that Skydance deal that was held up with Paramount, $16 million lawsuit, Trump was at the helm of that. Who got TikTok shares? Trump is at the helm of that. Now what's being shown on Meta or other social media platforms, Trump is at the helm. And the FCC already talked about this. The FCC, Federal Communications Share, the checks and balances, Brendan Carr has rolled over. Now, let me say something from Brendan Carr. This is very interesting to see. I had to do my research. Okay. So, when I was doing my research on the Skydance deal, $8 billion bid to acquire Paramount that Skydance did, that Larry Ellison funded. There was a comment from Brendan Carr, FCC chairman, and he says, President Trump, and it's a quote, President Trump is fundamentally reshaping the media landscape. And the way that he's doing that is when he ran for election, he ran directly at these legacy broadcast media outlets, ABC, NBC, CBS. Those lawsuits. For years, government officials just allowed those entities with execs sitting in Hollywood and New York to dictate the political narrative. And he has fundamentally changed the game. And you see that really having consequences that are just rushing all through media. That is the FCC, Federal Communications Commission chairman. I want y'all to understand what that means. That means any checks and balances that we would have had is gone. The person that's supposed to be overseeing this just said that he's happy with all the lawsuits that's being taken against the legacy of media. For years, government officials just allowed those entities with execs sitting in Hollywood and in New York to dictate the political narrative. Listen, Rupert Murdoch been dictating the political narrative. This is a media tycoon. So why give him more power? Why give Murdoch family more power with the acquisition of TikTok if you want to get away from these legacy broadcast media outlets? Or is it just something that you could pick and choose? Is it now once they're on the good side, we're able to, we're it's okay. If you're on your good side, if you're on the good side, then yeah, you can go get these deals, go pass them all out, consolidate power. Who cares who owns it, right? Who cares? Well, let me tell you something. I care because it matters. It matters. I would agree if someone asked me, yo, do you think that the media for the last 5 to 10 years have been ultra left? Probably. It probably has. And I think that there's space for opposing views in the media space, right? And I think the rise in independent media really is what jump-started that conservative movement within the young people. So you see the ramifications of that. The solution is not to just do the same thing on the other side. And that's what's going on at the moment. You're seeing not only media consolidate power, but now you're seeing narrative consolidate. You're seeing narrative consolidate. Okay, ABC, CBS, NBC, they can't talk about, the person upstairs, administration I'm talking about. They can't talk about it. Okay, Fox can go run rampant, say anything. Media creators like Charlie Kirk could run rampant, say anything, get martyred. That is the state of media that we're in right now. That's where we're at. And for my new media folks, I'm talking to those that be on YouTube like me. You know, you might be on a streaming platform like Kick or Twitch or whatever. I want to talk about Rumble. Yep, we getting into. We're getting into it today. And I wish, I'm hoping that my Mac is going to allow me to screen share this, because this is going to be very important when I pull this up. So, if y'all are not familiar with Rumble, Rumble is a streaming platform. I think it came up in the last couple of years with Kick at the same time. I remember it being launched and them trying to recruit mad commentators, political commentators, but also just commentators in general, right? I saw academics go over to Rumble. Then I think Destiny was on Rumble for a little bit, and then it started to phase out, right? But I think the right-wing political commentators stayed, And my friend, who's like me, who stays and pays attention to a lot of media, noticed that the Rumble logo turned into an American flag, right? Now, that's not crazy because, usually a lot of companies are going, especially American companies, are going to put the American flag in general like that. You want to present some unity. Okay, that's expected, right? Now, I understand the unity part, but let's say it's not just unity. Let's say post Charlie Kirk and we're making him a martyr, and we're trying to. All right, let me be clear. I think Rumble knows that Charlie Kirk just passed. It has ignited a complete base of not only Christians, but also like white Americans. And it is going to continue to feed their political audience. It makes sense. They are a streaming platform, and this is their main audience. Now, why do I say this is their main audience? It's because I opened up Rumble, and the front page that I see with Rumble, it is all political commentators. I see President Trump all over the stuff. I see, and these are the first top live categories. Follow me, y'all. Follow me. This is the first top live categories. The first one is news with 46K viewers. The second one is 24/7 TV channels with 17,000 viewers. The third one is podcasts, which is at 14K. And the fourth one is politics at 9K. The fifth one is gaming. Listen to me. Hold on. The fifth one is gaming. And to give y'all a comparison between this, I'm going to go on Twitch. The first people that I see is Kai in a bunch of games. I see Hasanabi. Okay. The first 5 categories, let me say this to y'all. Just chatting, which is when people are just talking like Kai and stuff like that, is 432,000 viewers. The second category is Rust at 40,000 viewers. And the next categories are all games. Games, IRL, music and DJs, creative, and esports. It is not political at all. If I go to Kick, which is the next rival platform to Rumble, don't let me lose y'all. I'm a tie in this point. Right? I go to Kick. I go to Browse. I go to categories. Just chatting is 193,000 viewers. Grand Theft Auto is 80,000 viewers. The second one is IRL at 53,000 viewers. Are y'all listening? The top 5 people are not political. Rumble is a specific platform on streaming that has the most political content that I've seen, but goes under the radar. And I'm telling y'all this is just a space for right-wing commentators. It is. And I go into the chats, and it's a bunch of crazy shit. Jew this, Jew that. Like, that is the chats in Rumble. And who are the main people on Rumble? Let me show y'all. Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk show was on this as well. I don't even know how Charlie Kirk show is going. Alex Jones. Now, I'm not saying I have a problem with any of these guys. Some of them I definitely do. I'm showcasing that this platform in itself is breeding this. If y'all don't see it, go look for it yourself. I'm not joking. This type of content, where this lives, this is Truth Social in a streaming platform. Also, just a question I wanted to ask too. Like, do y'all think, I haven't been on Truth Social. Maybe I should download it. Do y'all think Truth Social has like what Threads has right now with the Antifa signs or the warning symbols? Do y'all think that it has like those type of misinformation kind of notifiers? Just a question. I don't know. Because now it shows that Meta does. So if Meta has it and Instagram has all those applications, I wonder if another social media platform, Truth Social, just like X has it, has those type of kind of flags. But it was just interesting to see Rumble grow into this and feed into it. Because this is primarily what Rumble is for. This is a right wing. This is right wing commentators. This is their land. Just here to report, man. I'm just here to report. I think freedom of speech is being attacked. And I'm speaking to Gen Z right now because Gen Z, I mean, we're going to inherit this, right? Like, Don Lemon's going to be gone. Tucker Carlson's going to be gone, right? Like, these guys that used to be our media commentators are not going to look the same. You know, the people that we platform soon are going to look completely different. But in this world where we have legacy media bowing down, now we have social media platforms like Meta, TikTok, and everything bowing down. And then we have the state in itself, the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, bowing down. We have no protection. There is no protection. You know, other than just knowing that this stuff is going to get out. They might be able to control narrative, but who knows if this stuff can still get out in the next 3 to 4 years? You know, like, we're entering an interesting space. And although I thought it was just private companies beforehand, I mean, this is a consolidation all across the board. The checks and balances wasn't just supposed to be the state FCC chairman. The checks and balances are also supposed to be those oligarchs that are the hundreds of $billion people that are supposed to be like, yo, no, we're going to stand up to these tariffs. No, we're going to stand up to these, whatever, these Antifa warnings that you want to put on basic stuff that's just going on threads. They're supposed to be standing up to stuff like that. That is where the checks and balances is supposed to come in. But instead, they're allowing the state, I guess you could make an argument that Biden did the same thing. They're allowing the state to take over their platforms. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I want Gen Z to notice it. I want Gen Z to notice this, because this it doesn't feel like it's going to go away. Not for the near future. We got another 3 years of this. So just be careful with what you see, and not even just careful what you see. Like, be careful with what you watch and where you watch it, and just know that there's big money and corporate money that's coming in and being able to just gobble this all up. You might not see the effects right now, but this corporate money that's gobbling all this up, man, you think their political views is really that different than Trump's? Or, like, they're in the same class. Why wouldn't they vote for the same things? Why wouldn't they want the same things? And if you're good with the man in the White House, then you're going to be giving these benefits and these privileges of owning TikTok. And if you're not good, then you're going to catch some lawsuits until you're good. Bully ball. And it's working on our biggest oligarchs. I'm talking about Mark. I'm talking about Google CEO. I'm talking about OpenAI CEO, Sam Altman. I'm talking about all these guys that are getting paraded around in multiple different countries, having to say, thank you, President Trump. Thank you. And, man, y'all supposed to have the biggest companies in the world. How could that Antifa message get on your platform without you okaying it and being completely cool? You are cool with it. Because you don't want him to come after you. Corny. I mean, what's the point of having it? What's the point of having that type of power, that type of responsibility, and you can't do good to the country that platformed you? Talking to the oligarchs. Okay. JD Vance is in the news after a ICE shooting where a person had a sniper went and shot 2 detainees at a ICE camp. It was reported that I think that the bullets were engraved with something about ICE. I guess that's been the latest reportings, that everybody's engraving their bullets now. Kind of crazy. And JD Vance came out quickly and then called it, said that it might be from a left wing, I guess, like, extremist, right? Off rip. And I wanted to play that clip because I'm just tired of this rhetoric. Like, even in my last video, somebody spoke about that. Like, oh, you're leftist, you're mad at your party. What party, man? I'm gonna care about. I personally operate like these parties are not doing much for me. Although I think that the Republican Party is way worse when it comes to policy, way significantly worse when it comes to policy. And the Democratic Party, although I think the top elites like these guys do not care, I do think that some of their policies are significantly better than Republican policies. And if you want me to go into depth, I could do that next episode. Just ask for it in the comments. All right, let me play that clip of JD Vance.
What we know is that in Dallas, Texas, an ICE facility, an Immigrations and Customs Enforcement facility, was opened fire upon by a violent left-wing extremist, a person who wrote anti-ICE messaging on their bullets, and they were politically motivated to go after law enforcement. They were politically motivated to go after people who are enforcing our border. When Democrats like Gavin Newsom did say that these people are part of an authoritarian government, when the left-wing media lies about what they're doing, when they lie about who they're arresting, when they lie about the actual job of law enforcement, what they're doing is encouraging crazy people to go and commit violence. You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell, and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
Okay, JD Vance and a lot of us, I mean, I think these reports are still coming out. Yeah, those bullet engravings were there, but you don't know. I mean, the sniper shot 2 detainees. Could have missed, and that's where the bullets ended up, but the sniper shot 2 detainees. In addition to that, you would think that this sounds like this comes from a political commentator or a broadcaster, newscaster, somebody like that. But no, this is coming from the vice president talking about left-wing extremists, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, Biden never spoke about, do you hear that though? Like, Biden and presidents before this never spoke like this, because when you speak in this type of fired up passion, I don't know, that emphasis on left-wing extremists, left-wing, left, you are furthering that divide as a vice president. Now, granted, I understand why. You know, if you could further that divide and more people come upon your side, then you're going to get elected next come around. It's simple. We know why. I'm just saying that that's bad as a president to do. In addition to that, he shot 2 detainees, or the sniper shot 2 detainees. We do not know yet, it's not concluded yet, that was a left-wing extremist attack. It's not conclusive, but he jumped out early to go and say that, to go rile up his base. Why do we have a vice president trying to rile up their base? Do you see what I'm saying? They're talking about violence here. They're talking about political violence here, potentially. And if it's political violence here, potentially, then why are they trying to rile them up? It's a left-wing thing that we won't have, and you could go to hell with that. Is this guy Alex Jones? Are we looking at Alex Jones? I thought the presidents are supposed to have some decorum. But, I'm just going to accept where we're supposed to be at this point. I'm just going to accept it. Okay. How y'all doing out there, man? How y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good. Life has been interesting. Life has been intense moving around. But if y'all don't know, I secured my second client. Contracts have been signed. So, so my, couple months post-grad has been going good. When it comes to this broadcasting stuff, I spoke about, this being the episode 10. So if y'all were listening last week, I said, I might change it up for this episode. But, I have some ideas coming in, some interviews, kind of like lining up and stuff like that, and been setting up the studio to make sure that we can accommodate that. So there's just a lot of stuff moving, So if you've been liking the show, if you've been liking what's going on, trust me, it's going to get better. And share with your friends. Share with your family. If you think this is insightful, especially, definitely go ahead and share along. Because this is how we keep this moving. At one point, I definitely want to be able to get off of YouTube, because obviously you see that media is getting attacked left and right. YouTube is the next platform. Don't get it twisted. YouTube is definitely the next platform. And I don't know how much Google is going to stand up for it, because Google CEO was also at that dinner with Trump and everybody. So who knows? Who knows how that's going to go? But I would like to move this platform off of YouTube once we've built a significant, body of work, and then also a significant community, because that's also what's very important. Like this community that's supposed to be perceptive, providing nuance, thinking about the other, while also having that, like business mind, analytical kind of like execution behind it. I want that type of community, perceptive, man. Like being able to see and read these type of headlines and not just get off the headline, but go read a couple more of those lines to figure out what's going on. A lot of that stuff is not hard to decipher. Trust me, it's not hard to decipher, but sometimes the language makes it a little bit inaccessible. And in addition to that, sometimes it's just knowing stuff, right? Like Paramount and the Skydance stuff, like you wouldn't have known if you just read Skydance is purchasing Paramount. You wouldn't have known that $6 billion of that came from Larry Ellison, who's his father. He would have never been able to buy that company without his father. That's how big media works. That's how big corporate business works. So when people ask about generational wealth and generational power and the JP Morgans of the world, this is how that gets built. And I'm telling y'all, as Gen Z, we are inheriting this by Larry Ellison, who is the founder, CEO of Oracle, passing down not passing down, but Larry Ellison, who is the founder and CEO of Oracle, son, David Ellison, then goes into media, purchases Paramount, brings up his own company, Skydance, and now he's able to purchase it because of Larry Ellison. Who do you think is going to be our Rupert Murdoch of our generation? Yeah, you guessed it. David Ellison. Okay? They're setting it up for you now. They're setting it up for us now. Lachlan Murdoch is inheriting all of Rupert Murdoch stuff. Who do you think is going to be running our media in our lifetime? I'm young. I got another 60 years on this earth. Y'all hear me? We got another 60 years on this earth, and this is the media that's going to get passed down, and all of our kids are going to be watching it. Our family's going to be watching it. Our peers are going to be watching it. And it's going to be owned by the same 5 dudes. And that's what I mean by media power is consolidating. It's consolidating. They gave TikTok to him. Man, I don't think you understand how important it is for independent media at the moment. Let me just shout out some networks just because. Zeteo News, fire. Zeteo News, I think that's started by Mehdi Hassan, fire. Al Jazeera News, fire. Great stuff on the Palestine. Great coverage on Palestine and Gaza. Great coverage. Al Jazeera. What's another one? Perspective. Hold on. Perspective. If you haven't checked Perspective on Instagram, go check them out. I'm telling y'all, this is why it's important to have your sources down, but also to understand what media is going to be in the next stage. Corporate media, legacy media is falling apart a little bit. Warner is rumored to be getting bought out by the Ellison family, by Skydance. Y'all not hearing it. Take your claim. Take your claim. Take your claim. Gen Z, it's time to take the claim. It's now or never. We got 3 more years of this, and we don't know how media is going to look or the landscape is going to look in 3 years if every single legacy media network got attacked and is now has bent the knee. The only reason Disney brought back that show is because they saw their stock price going down a little bit. Even though it didn't even go down that much. I mean, it didn't go down that much at all. But I think they lost about like $5 billion in market cap. That's why it got back. But Nexstar still has held out. Man, and that Rumble stuff is even more crazy. Don't give me that Rumble stuff. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I didn't realize how big Rumble has gotten. But if all the biggest names, Charlie Kirk, Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, Alex Jones, they're all on Rumble. And when I looked up Rumble's CEO, Because I'm like, I gotta do some research. The first Instagram picture that he has on his Instagram is him right next to Elon Musk with the dark MAGA hat. Elon Musk, Trump, and Dana White. Man, this is the country club. This is the country club, and they playing around with politics and media in our face. In our face. So just stay perceptive, y'all. Stay perceptive. Because stuff is going to get even weirder. And stay locked in. Are y'all even subscribed? Are y'all subscribed? Because if you're not even subscribed, how can you be perceptive? How can you be perceptive? I'm over here giving y'all the information, giving y'all the goods, the deets. I had to do some research on this TikTok stuff and on this Skydance deal because this is big money at play. And it trickles down into the Cocomelon that you watch at home. Even though Cocomelon is on Netflix. It trickles down into what you can see at home. Paramount being bought by Skydance. If Skydance is cool with Trump, then is Paramount still going to be able to have the liberty to criticize Trump like it did on South Park? Think about it like that. This is how it gets affected down. This is how big business gets trickled down into what do you watch and what do you consume on the daily. Or let alone, maybe you are 16 plus, so you're a little bit more perceptive. Maybe the 15-year-old, 13-year-old that's just watching South Park, that's able to see the nuance within politics a little bit. That is now being controlled. And it's all consolidating into the same 4 people, 4 families that own media. Pay attention, man, because this is getting scary. Okay, last topic. $500 billion was committed to HBCUs. My friend was like, "Yo, you saw the headline? Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. $500 billion. Wow." And I think in excess in total, I think they're receiving I'm trying to find it. 1 second. $1.34 billion in total for the fiscal year of 25. Now, is money good? Yes. Money's great. I'm not gonna be grateful on behalf of HBCUs and black people, but that money's cool. The problem that I have is that you've devalued, or the economy is devaluing college degrees at the moment. So whatever that money's just going into, first of all, those kids, those professionals already got DEI stripped out of them. So those jobs aren't mandated to make sure that they have some representation in their corporate offices. So you've taken that away. So the possibility of them getting jobs, I'm pretty sure student unemployment is at I think the total unemployment, students make 40% of long-term total unemployment. So they're not getting jobs anyway. Okay, so you donated $500 million to HBCUs, and those kids, those students aren't even getting jobs. They were getting death threats post the Charlie Kirk stuff. And on top of that, you're devaluing college degrees in total. Let me tell you something. That $500 million, I don't know what type of impact that's gonna have. That's cool. I'm glad that they got it right now, but to me, it just seems like a false flag. You don't actually care. You actually care about solving problems. Because if you would have cared, you wouldn't have taken away the DEI stuff. You'd have cared about the professionals, about them actually getting jobs. Gave them funding right here after you passed for the last 6 months a bunch of BS. Then you're gonna give some funding right now. Okay, cool. What that $500 million going to do? Students can't get jobs. So yeah, I think it's a false flag. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's a false flag. And although it's cool, $500 million, and it's a significant percent increase. But it's just, what are you gonna do for those students that need a home? All the federal workers that got cut. if AI is already priced into the labor market, and what I mean by that, I'm saying if AI is taking a lot of jobs and a lot of those jobs are not going to return, then that $500 million is going to nothing if those professionals are not going to get hired. And you've taken away DEI anyway. So that's where the problems come in. That's where the problems come in. And we'll see if that $500 million is actually going to make a difference. I want to see how those colleges are going to be able to spend that. Okay, with that, I think we've had a packed and full-fledged episode. Listen, it is not a podcast. I keep trying to tell y'all, it is not a podcast. It is a show. It is a show, and this was episode 10. I'm glad y'all were here with me. If you haven't checked this out on Perspective, go check this out on Perspective YouTube, Instagram, on TikTok. Are we on? Yeah, we are on TikTok, of course. Love y'all. Love and grace. Sadiq Spears. I will see y'all next week. Gen Z, what's up?